Hello Aquarius, this is your forecast for the week of November 2nd, 2015. This also applies if you have an Aquarius ascendant. Just so you guys know, after years of urging, I have finally made some third eye videos. I put up one last week, and I'm going to put up another one later on this week, so you can check those out. You can always look at the main channel page for the playlists. So let's get started with your session. Aquarius, this week for your spiritual advice, we've got the Three of Cups upright. This is going to be a week where, you need to be focusing on trying to, I guess you could say, strengthen the bonds in your platonic families, your friendships, not the blood relatives, but, your friendship social circle. Really kind of delving into that sense of community this week, really strengthening those ties, because the Three of Cups is all about being able to let your hair down with people you can let your hair down with. This is also a time where, finding your tribe, drawing a lot of that in is so important. The people that can bond with you and connect to you without pretense. People who are kind of like, well, we have to agree, and like-mindedness and traditional act. Those are too many conditions. Who are the people that you can just be real with, without having to placate? This is the week where you're going to be building those bonds, building those relationships, and I want you to indulge that so much. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Eight of Wands reversed. This card usually shows up where you might notice a lot of processes that you're going through at this point in time, whether it's a work thing or, something personal. They're kind of slowing down for some reason. Deadlines are getting pushed back. People are not as responsive, or we might not be getting concrete information the way that we need to. Kind of firing blanks. This is not a week to push things to conclusion, with force. There's usually a reason behind everything, and there's a reason I think things are taking a longer time to materialize or become concrete. And I kind of feel like sometimes with the Eight of Wands, this means that a lot of people that are involved, or a lot of priorities that are involved, are definitely not suited to the task that they are proposing, or maybe these are people you're trying to recruit. They're not suitable. Okay, and I'm not saying they're bad people, it's just that, this person might be a little bit too bogged down with their own stuff right now, they can't commit, or that person over there is, maybe they're just a little bit too, they want a lighter workload, they can't take it on. And so with the Eight of Wands reversed, not getting the feedback that we're looking for, pay attention, we might be recruiting the wrong people into this task, whatever it is. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Two of Cups upright. This could be good news because it does indicate here some kind of communion or some kind of very personal, but at the same time very, very intentional and very useful information is going to come to you about somebody that you're working with or maybe you're working for. I do see this again as a bonding exercise. In fact, this whole week is about bonding for you guys. And what really matters here is not so much the professionalism, but more about the fact that you guys are gelling as friends. Maybe more, could be there. It is the Two of Cups. But I am seeing here with the Two of Cups here, somebody's going to really go to bat for you this week, and they're actually going to succeed. This does also look like you're going to be brought into some kind of new circle, some kind of new inner circle that's really going to launch your career down the road. And so, there is advancement to be had there, but again, it's all about forming and bonding with those allies. For your communications with air, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. If you have been in a situation where you are kind of trying to get something passed, something approved, something accepted, the Eight of Pentacles reversed is saying we've got a bit of a problem with a lack of attention to detail. Now, this could be on either side, okay, maybe you missed something, forgot to dot an I or cross a T, okay. But this can also be a situation where a person may have dismissed this prematurely. You ever have those situations where a person's like, they either judge a book by its cover, or they maybe get 1 or 2 minutes into a presentation or an offer or a page, and they just kind of shut down, like they're not willing to actually get through the whole thing and give it a fair chance. You may have to deal with that this week, and I think that with the Eight of Pentacles reversed again, somebody is not paying enough attention to detail or actually clarifying the details as they should. This might bring up a do-over. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. This week, I want you to, remember and remind your partner or your crush that it's about the love, it's about the relationship, it's not about, a financial plan. That's not how relationships work, because usually the King of Pentacles reverse can show up where we have a problem going on in a romantic situation where somebody, or maybe the relationship, is focused way too much on money and practical security. We're focusing so much on status, on, how much a person is earning, or maybe it's a person who's not necessarily in a bad spot. Maybe they've kind of let how much they earn go to their head, and they think that makes them more valuable as a human being. And in the case of like a crush or dating situation, I would be like, turn off. But I think that for you, Aquarius, sometimes we gotta watch our crushes and our, our boyfriends and our girlfriends and make them, realize that, for yourself and just for the relationship in general, that can't be more important than the emotional connection and the romance. This cannot be more important. Because this week I kind of feel like the preoccupation with status and material things can be so detrimental to bonding. We kind of let that become a really big distraction. Away from what, of all else, and I know what you Aquarians are like, and I don't think that you care that much about money, but you might have a partner who does, or a crush who does, and, it's always important to bring them back to reality so they can look at the bigger picture and not just focus on one thing, okay? Again, attention to details. So that is your forecast, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And if you would like to get a session, you can follow the links below to marketplace.scarletmoononline.com, and I would be happy to chat with you. I'll talk to you later.